Today is November 29th, 2022. This is Cherry Creek Hill Road. This is a ditch. You can see it coming down. It comes down along there. You can hear the water running. And then once it gets to my property, it cuts across my property. My house is way up there. I own property way back there. So this does go straight through the middle of my property. And you can hear it. Might even be able to see it down there. All that running water. This is to catalog the fact that this is the county's water, and it is all coming onto my property, and it is ruining my property. Oh, I'm gonna come down here, get off the road. As you can see, there's no ditch on the road here. This is my property now. Come down here. I contacted the county the first week of August, maybe a little sooner. Here's all that water, that ditch. This is now solidly on my property. When I contacted the county, this fencing was not up. We tried to leave as much room as we possibly could. On this side, clearly there's not room right here for machinery, but there is everywhere else. This is not the area that currently needs to be dug out. So we're gonna come over here and come down here. You can see all the water rushing down. This is everything, all the water from above us on this mountain. Come down here, you can see it all. This is the other issue we have. You can see trash right there, trash right there, trash right there. None of this is our garbage. It's all coming down off the road, being washed onto our property. All this gravel was not here before. All this gravel was not here before. This was grass. This is the culvert where it's supposed to be going through to the other side. It's only about a 1-foot culvert, if that. It's way too small for the volume of crap coming down. We did dig this out to get the water back on the correct path. Not that it mattered because this path washes out anyways. We did that September, I want to say. Clearly it just filled back up, and now all of this water is running into my property and bringing trash along with it, and gravel and clay. And we're gonna go down. You can see the sheer volume of water. Again, this is all the county's fault. This is county water, county ditch. Cuts across the center of my property. I contacted the county. They agreed that the ditch on Cherry Creek Hill Road is indeed their ditch. Said they were going to send a foreman out to come and investigate. That was the first week of August 7th, I want to say. And that never happened. And you can see all the water on my property. Now, because of the geographical layout of this surrounding area, this area is filled with clay dirt and shale rocks, which means a lot of clay being washed down and a lot of gravel being washed down. So, yes, we dug out the ditch, the culvert, but all of it came right here and washed out here and started washing out here. Now, obviously, there's not a whole lot of water coming out here anymore because 95% of it's coming out up there. You can see all the water in my property. This was dirt and grass, and now it is gravel. Irreparable damage to my pastures, to my land. Not to mention the diseases and pests that come with standing water. This was very lush green grass pasture. You can go back on my YouTube videos just from earlier this summer and see how lush and green this whole pasture was. And now it's covered in gravel, which is inhospitable to grass growth, to healthy pastures. And we're gonna come down here. Pastures, our ditch is filled in over there, that whole side The way the ditch is supposed to go is it's supposed to go clear off of our property, hit the lay of the land where it goes like this, go to a huge culvert that goes under Highway 62 and leads out to the Conewango River. It does not make it that far. It doesn't even make it off my property. Now we're gonna come down here, all this flooded grass. I'm sure soon that gravel will reach here, because it only took about 2 weeks for that gravel to reach there. This is about 3 inches of standing water, running water. But then we have the real big issue over here. All this water has to go somewhere, and the lay of the land takes it right here. Again, still on my property. A developing lake. And it isn't just on my property either. This is going over onto the neighbor's property. All of this water is not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be lush green grass. Oh, Jax. Jax is quite the large dog. Stands about hip high. He's not even in the deepest part of it, and you can see just how deep it's getting. I would say over there it's probably about 3 or 4 feet deep. Yes, some flooding was normal because, again, the ditch is clogged. I mean, really no flooding is normal. But any flooding we've had the past 3 years is just a little bit right there. And now it's coming well over into my pasture. It's taking up a lot of my pasture space. There's my property line, those fence posts, so that's on the neighbor's side. You can tell it's going up the hill. It's going to start washing across to Highway 62, cause damage to my neighbor's house, causing massive amounts of damage to our property, to our land. It's backing up because what happens is, if it even does make it this far, which most of it doesn't anymore, but it would wash out right there, hit this hill, and just wash back down here. Again, I contacted the county to ask them to come and re-dig out this ditch that is clearly their responsibility. Yes, it is on my property, but it connects to their ditch, which does not connect any further down and has no way of avoiding our property except to go down this ditch. All of this water would wash onto our property regardless, which means that all of this water that comes off of the county road belongs to the county. So the county needs to come and deal with it properly. This water is just filling up. It has nowhere to go. It's just going to come further and further and further into my pasture, taking away the quality of my pasture. It's going to swallow up all of this. We depend on this grass to help us get through the winter with grazing. And if it keeps continuing, it's going to hit my barn and then start causing damage to my barn. And that may sound like a stretch because, oh, this isn't so big. There's still a lot of space. This is about 2 weeks worth of rain and snow. That's it. And it's only, well, about the beginning of December. So we have the entire winter and all of the moisture that's going to come with that is going to wash out here. And again, there's nowhere for this water to go other than here if that ditch is filled in, which means that all of the water, all of future water is just going to come here and it's going to sit here. And when it was lower, when the flooding was minimal, it would take 2 to 3 weeks to dry out and go away. This would take months, and we're not going to go months and months without rain. And we're going to go months and months with plenty of snow, plenty of water, plenty of rain. That's all going to build up here, and there's just not going to be a dry spell long enough to make it go away. Not to mention all of the damage from the sediment being deposited on my property, ruining the soil quality, ruining the ability to grow grass and other crops here. And this is all because of the county. Again, I did contact the county at the beginning of August. They said they would send a foreman out. Never saw a foreman. Nobody ever came by. Never heard from the county again. I did call them last Wednesday. I want to say his name was Scott Andrews or something like that. Or maybe his name was just Andrews. They did not answer my call. I left a voicemail. They did not return my call. So at this point, I believe the county is specifically avoiding dealing with me and the issues that they have caused to my property and the destruction of my property. I believe they have no intention of even coming out here, and I may have to be forced to take legal action against the county for the property damage they are doing.